Live. Okay. Welcome everybody to our. I shouldn't say. Now, Grogu, be nice. It's just having him kind of. What's he gonna do? Yeah. There he goes. Nice. Ooh. Trying to get more people to come in. Well, you know me. We are a tiny little channel. Okay. Lots of people watch on the rewatch, but I thought I would give a shot to trying to do some live stream, so it's a little bit of a different format. Not much. Okay, it'll be different. So welcome to another episode of. I guess you could call this a bonus episode. Okay, it's not. I don't figure it in as part of the number. All right. I guess we're around 445, 446. We put a lot of episodes together. I'm your host, Darth Tuba, and if you be sure to give this video a like, subscribe, share it out to people, let people know about the channel. I'm a simple Star Wars fan with a simple Star Wars collection that I've been just kind of documenting the unboxings that come and go, along with all of the changes that come along with the collection. It is Star Wars based only. Okay, this is certainly not something that I say. I know a lot of other channels devote themselves to all sorts of 80s, 70s, and 80s toys, and lots of 70s and 80s nostalgia and pop culture. I do love all sorts of toys from the 70s and 80s, but I only collected and truly only played with Star Wars. That was my thing. It was my jam. So today we're going to do some unboxing, some new stuff, some things that have arrived more recently, some stuff that I picked up just the other day, and some older stuff that I just want to get unboxed because I just want to. So why don't we start with something that I picked up. We had this little Baby Yoda. This is one of the many different iterations of Baby Yoda that came out last year during the hype of when they were first able to release Grogu, at the time just the child or Baby Yoda merchandise. And it's just kind of like a little semi-animated version. So he's cute. But in doing my shopping yesterday and buying essentials, I always go past the toy aisle in my local Walmart. And there was, of course, nothing really except for some more baby Yoda's Grogu plushes. Except I also found this little guy. Yes, Baby Yoda is now a Bopit. Now I'm late to the party here because it says 2020, so obviously we're into 2021. But I did not realize that Baby Yoda was now part of the Bopit game. Now, what is Bopit? Some of you might ask. Well, I would say that if any of you have ever watched a certain TV show called Gilmore Girls, you will know what Bopit is. It's essentially just a game that is basically an idea where you actually... normally, the original Bopit was just this kind of funky shaped device that you essentially you did what it told you to do. So it would say Bopit, and you hit it on the top. Or pull it, and it'd be something you pull. Twist it, you twist it. So, of course, they have gotten the rights to utilize the child and made a child... Bopit. Now, the funny thing about this is that the Bopit, there's actually a voice that gives you instructions on what to do. And I don't believe there's much to do. There's only basically three things here. You can bop the head down, you can twist the head, or you can pull on the legs. Okay? But who's the voice they got? Not only do we hear the little coos and squeals of Baby Yoda, Grogu, but the Mandalorian himself is actually giving the instructions. So let's see if I can give you...
Bopit to start. I score 8.
Yeah, I pressed. Oh, let's see.
Bopit. Twist it. Pull it. Bopit. Bopit. Pull it. Pull it. Twist it. Bopit. Pull it.
Oh, I did that on purpose.
Oh, no. Score 9.
So I'm actually beat my record of 8 now. My high score is 9.
Bopit to start.
I'm not going to bop it to start again, so we're going to put this down. I think he kind of signs off in a moment.
Let's give it a rest.
Let's give it a rest. Okay, so a cute little addition to the Baby Yoda. We got a Baby Yoda here, we got Baby Yodas here, we got Baby Yodas everywhere. So a really cool addition to the Baby Yoda brigade. So that's one thing. Now, the next two items, well, I'll tell you what. Let me talk about the next two items, but then I know that a lot of you might be interested in the newer items. So we have this, and this is a 3-pack from the Clone Wars. Now, it says Clone Wars. It looks like the Clone Wars Genndy Tartakovsky series, but it's actually that was just part of the packaging at the time, around 2002, 2003, I believe, 2003. And this was just kind of an army builder. They had a few 3-packs of army builders that they would use just during that time. Remember when Episode 2 came out, there was this massive battle at the end with Jedi versus battle droids versus with clones jumping in. So they created all these great little 3-packs that you can up your game. I would like to open this one because I actually have a diorama, which I've shown on the episode. You might not have been able to see it too well, but I've shown on an episode, and I wanted to just add 3 more Jedi to it. I've got Plo Koon in there, I got Saesee Tiin, I got Shaak Ti, I got Kit Fisto, I got another one, I can't remember his name, like a Nikto Jedi, and then I want to add these 3 too. So we're going to unbox these in a moment. Okay, also, we have this. These are Gentle Giant, what they call Bustups. Okay, now Gentle Giant, for those who don't know, is another I would call it semi-high-end. They create nice little busts of tons and tons of Star Wars characters, not to mention other properties. And they also they've done those Gentle Giant jumbo 12-inch versions of the figures that I have. The vintage. I'm talking about the old 70s vintage figures. They have like 12-inch versions of them. They just blew them up in size. So I've collected those. But I really haven't collected much when it came to the medium size busts that they do. I have a few, but none that I didn't want to build up a collection with that. But they did come up with these that were kind of smaller. Obviously, they call them Bustups. They're little. They're about this big, and as you can see with the sample there, and they're a little tiny. They're not really puzzles, but you put them together like that. I didn't realize that I never opened this one, and it's the Cantina Band, and the Cantina Band, my favorite, being a musician, love the Cantina Band. In fact, being a musician, again, I'll show off my John Williams vintage art. Okay, interested in something like this? Check out the TeePublic store on my channel. Okay, my channel description. So there you go. So we're gonna open this one up too. But why don't we start with one of these? These are, of course, Entertainment Earth, I think? Yes, Entertainment Earth is my go-to. They are not sponsoring this show at all, but they are my go-to, okay? And I want to essentially just give them credit. They have been the place I've been able to get generally all the items ordered, okay? Oh, exciting. Oh, I know what this one is. We've got, there he is, man. Apollo Creed. No, sorry. Greef Karga. The vintage collection version of Greef Karga. Nice little Star Wars The Mandalorian vintage packaging design. Sorry for the glare. There we go. It's better. Hey, no one's jumping in the chat today, or no one's jumping in at all today. Usually get at least a handful. So must be not a good time. And maybe I'll try another time of week or evening for the next stream. So there we go. Great box art, great photo art. On the back, you got your kind of vintage style photos of the other characters coming out. Again, for those who watch the channel, it's so funny. I call myself an unboxing show, but unboxing is in the eye of the beholder. I unboxed it from the shipping box, but this is not going to be unboxed. I'm keeping the vintage collection, at least keeping the vintage collection carded for 2 reasons. Number one, I just absolutely love the vintage card line. And number 2, it seems as though Hasbro has been releasing a kind of the ultimate version of every character figure on the vintage line. And it seems like they're going to continue doing that for the time being. So, and adding to it with characters like from The Mandalorian. So I'm excited to keep that there. Now, they also are releasing a retro line where the figures look more like their 70s and 80s counterpart figures. Simpler design, simpler, points of articulation, that whole bit. But I still think that I might unbox those. I'm not sure yet. These I just like to leave what they are. They kind of look good. Now, of course, if they keep making them, I'm going to run out of room. So we'll have to wait and see. But Greef Karga, there he is. Oops, nice. So that'll go up on the rafters. Number VC 185. Can't believe we're almost getting to 200. That's just the vintage. Watching my channel, you'll know that I started doing a lot of organizing and reorganizing and cataloging and just trying to keep better track of the collection. I think that there was a time that I was just doing a complete 100%, like, I want everything Star Wars. Let me have it. Let me get it. And knowing eventually that just wasn't going to be a real, that wasn't a real thing. I just couldn't really do that. So, all right, let me open up the Jedi Knights right now. All right. I know people are like, no, I can't. Believe me, folks, there's plenty of, I mean, I've taken you through the collection. I have tons of carded items that I don't plan to open up, okay? But these guys, I do. Now, I have a couple of these old stands that I'm temporarily going to use just to kind of keep them from falling down, and I'll also keep track. So I don't believe, wow, I don't think these are actually named. No, there are no names. These are just generic Jedi. Kind of interesting. I mean, I guess they think of it like, you know, like having a stormtrooper or a rebel trooper, you know, that kind of thing. So it's all right. But and the other thing, oh, I just realized something else. Their points of articulation are very limited. Their heads turn, their waists turn, their legs do not. And at least this guy. I wonder if they actually fit on here. Let me see. Yeah, they do fit. So you can see him. I'm using the box here as a second box. He passes the stand test, or at least with help from the stand. Wow, that is pretty interesting that they made them like that. I know that they made some clone troopers as well as part of this kind of series. I think I have some of them. I mean, they were releasing like 3 packs of clone troopers that were, you know, 3-pack clones white, 3-pack clones yellow, 3-pack clones blue, 3-pack clones red, like clone commanders, clone lieutenants. You know, the color kind of changed it. So we have what I guess is a Twi'lek. We have a human, or I don't know what they call them in Star Wars world. Is it Terran, or that's what they do in Star Trek? And then a Rodian. Okay, so let me give you a little close up of the Twi'lek. There's some splotchiness on the paint on the top. I don't know if that's, I don't know this figure well enough to know if this is even part of the design of that. Not sure. Okay, and then here's, let me get the human. This one only has one peg hole. Now the diorama that I have with these is again, same thing. Legs don't really move, but the arms and the head do. He's a little bit weird because he has a almost looks like Luke Skywalker, honestly. But his head swivels. But oh, we got someone here. Hey, whoever's here, welcome. You're my only guest live. So yay. But here you go. You got this, and it's his head turns left and right, but he's got the hood, so it doesn't make sense. So again, I think these were very cheaply made to keep the price point down, and also just to kind of build armies and allow you to kind of have that, you know, set up your Geonosian battle, you know, that kind of thing. Again, as I said, while it was on the Clone Wars, the cartoon Clone Wars, thing, it definitely, oh, got 2 now, yay. While it was on the Clone Wars cartoon, it definitely was meant to be for the Attack of the Clones movie. And here's our Rodian. Woo. And as I said, these will go on my little diorama. You can tell by around his wrists, his hands, his fingers, that they always included this little kind of rubber band wraparound type of thing. But of course, now it's been 20 years since this came out, or 19, 18 years. So that rubber band is kind of degraded. So there's our 3. Okay. Again, I'll kind of bring up the box here. 3 Jedi. 3 generic Jedi, no names on these. Just Jedi Knight Army. They will go on my diorama. It's an Ultrama. I think it's Ultrama or Ultrama diorama stand. Came out about 20 years ago. I think they're still in business. You can buy like a 2-shelf set. I kind of stacked up 6 shelves and put different scenes on them, as I mentioned in previous episodes. Okay, and so these guys will go there. So that's cool. All right, why don't we get our next box here? Okay, again, Entertainment Earth, my go-to. They do not sponsor the channel. I wish they did. but we've got, looks like, based on the weight, it looks like another vintage collection figure. Oh, okay. Oh, looks like we've got two. Ooh, packed weirdly. Hang on 1 second. Oh no! It's okay. Soft ground. All right, we got the Boba Fett Return of the Jedi vintage collection. Boba Fett. This is VC 186. There you go. There he is. There's the man, the myth, the legend. Book of Fett coming out next Christmas. This is the last we saw of him before he rolled into the Sarlacc pit, and we thought he was done. We thought that was it. He went out like a punk. Done. No more Boba Fett. Yeah, that didn't happen. Obviously, there were comic books and novels and all sorts of things that kind of argued that he got out of the Sarlacc. But then it was nice to see him in Mandalorian, you know, acted out by Tamora Morrison to kind of tie into the prequels. Just a great way to bring the character back, and he'll even get his own show, so that's really cool. And then VC 187, Princess Leia, Bespin Escape, really cool. Loving what they're doing with the. I mean, I'm trying to get a little close up here so you can see the face. How realistic that face is. I mean, just look at that. It's amazing. You know, I mean, it's amazing the lengths we've come to, you know, like where we've come through from when we first were making figures in the 80s. When this, I don't even think we ever got this Leia. We got the Bespin Leia, we got the Hoth Leia, so we got basically the outfit with a vest, and then we got the Bespin with the different hairdo. But we never got both. You'd have to customize it if you wanted to do that. So this one, along with Grief Karga. So that's 185, 186, and 187. They will find a place of prominence on the rafters for the collection. As I said, I do not unbox the vintage collection figures. I generally do unbox when I get Black Series figures, unless they are, ultra rare, or even. And when I say ultra rare, I mean like very ultra rare, or they can open up and be displayed really prominently. All right, so the last thing, as I said, this is an older model. This is a 2006, so we're talking about 15 years. And I really meant to open them up. I love the Cantina band. There's one of them right there with his instrument and everything. So these were kind of fun. They were like part display piece, part puzzle. So, you know, not too bad. But let me get this thing out and see what we look like here. Let's see if this was all right. So they gave you the one like that, and then that was the one on display, and the rest of them look like they're in a box on the bottom. Oh my! Thanks for. Ooh, look at that. This is interesting. Came in a little box, but I mean, look at the box itself. It looks like it's kind of been, as if it's got its own little imagery and stuff on it. That's pretty interesting that they did that they went down that level. All right, but the rest of the figures basically are just individual. Wow, these are, oh, I see. Oh, okay. So look at how these are packaged. They're arms and instrument. Arms and instrument. Arms and instrument. I hope that there's actual bodies that come with this. There's a head and a body and a stand, okay? And I bet you the head, the body, and the stand are all, is another arms and instrument. Okay, they're not all identical. I'm gonna guess that the head, the body, and the stand, for the most part, are all the same. I believe it is a 5-piece band, okay? So I'm actually gonna just stack this right here. All right, so let's look at the one here that's, so you can see, you got your bust, okay? Now the head comes apart, but I think in this case they either put it together as part of the sample, or they I'm trying to see if it comes apart. I don't want to test it. And then you just kind of It's like a little square piece, and you just kind of get it in there. Now the hard part is, how the heck do you get the instrument in? Like, you got to be very. Now these are like, they're generally made of a plastic or a resin. The thing is that the puzzles work a certain way. They're like working like three-dimensional puzzle pieces, right? That there we go. All right. See what I mean? There's the man. There he is. Boom. Boop, 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 boop. I guess they all have names, and I know it's like Figrin Dan, Doik Nod, Tech, Ichabel, Tedden. I think those are all of them. There's a great audio drama, and it's based on a book, or I should say it's based on a series called "We Don't Do Weddings: The Band's Tale." That's the name of the book. And essentially, what it is, it came from a series of oh my goodness. There we go, guys. Here. All right. These are, there it is. It kind of snaps in. All right. It came from a series of short stories called Star Wars Tales from Mos Eisley Cantina. And while these are all considered legendary now, okay, if you ever want to just get a great read a great set of stories, it's so much fun. Basically, it's like, we all know about the cantina. We all know about all the different people that were in there, all the different creatures, all the different, we all had action figures of them, right? Those of you that are my age. And if you're a collector more recent, then maybe the newer versions. But what they did here was they basically just told the story of the point of view, everything going on in the point of view of from. There it is. Whew, that's the hardest part of getting these heads on. Everything going on from the point of view of, like, say, Greedo or Walrus Man or Hammerhead or the bartender or all these different creatures. And sometimes they interacted with each other. The stories interacted. So it was pretty interesting. And there was a story called "We Don't Do Weddings: The Band's Tale," and it was essentially, the story of the band and what brought them to Mos Eisley Cantina. And it started out, it was funny because it started out, they were Jabba's band, at least in the story. They were Jabba's band. And being Jabba's band, Jabba likes to have his, okay, so here's just to let you know. So we got our four guys that are essentially the same, without their arms or their instruments, okay? So now we'll get through it. But I'll tell the story, or at least I'll give you the thumbnail version of it, the thumbnail sketch of it. So they basically were Jabba's band for a while, and they got an offer to play a wedding, which they didn't want to do, but the person offering the job, offered them this crazy amount of money, and an offer, an offer they couldn't refuse. So it was pretty cool, and so they decided to go for it. All right, and there's your arm. Yeah, you see the arms are all interchangeable with the bodies. They all interchange, and that's good. And then you can just add the instruments. It looks like he's got to be kind of like, there's him playing the other instrument there. You're going to have to kind of set these up. The instruments, I will say, are probably going to they're going to be a little bit more loosey-goosey. So you just got to be careful with that. So when you put these together, you do one at a time. I don't even know how valuable these are. I don't think they're what I would call super valuable. I mean, they generally, you can get these individually, and they're not that bad. They might run like $15-20, that kind of thing. $10. This is probably a little more because it's 5 of them. It isn't just one. It's a multiple amount. So, okay, this one, I'm saying the arm definitely giving me some issue there. But So back to, oh, I see. Cool. And you get this. I love, those who don't know me know that I'm a musician and music educator. So I love combining my love of music and my love of Star Wars. So the band, man, they're my jam. Okay. So that's this guy playing the longer one there. Clue horn, I think they got. Well, the one is called a clue horn. One is called a fanfare. One is called the omnibox. And as a musician, I'm like, they sound like fun. I'd love to play the omnibox. But in real life, the instruments are basically, I think, a saxophone. There was obviously like an odd kind of like a Moog synthesizer bass kind of thing. There was a steel drum. So you put that together and it just gives it this really kind of otherworldly sound. So that's pretty cool. Now, this is, I might need to see if I can look at a picture here to, all right. Yeah, this one's a little weird. Trying to figure out, like, how the heck? Oh, this one, interesting. So this one, I gotta remove his head again. And I've got to actually put his head, you got to loop this thing around his head because it's like a neck strap. So, okay, that makes it easier. Now you know it's going to stay. All right, so back to the story. So they decide to, now they're not supposed to, they have an exclusive contract with Jabba the Hutt. They're not supposed to break a contract, but it was just an amazing offer, and they were going to try to get off planet and all this other stuff. There he is. So they decide to play the gig. Well, of course, everything that does go wrong or could go wrong does go wrong. They end up getting in like major trouble. There's a guy, Jabba apparently had a big party that night that they got another band to cover for them, and the band wasn't that good, so Jabba's all ticked off, and he put out a bounty for them. But they had gambling going on at the wedding, and that was illegal. So the stormtrooper showed up at the end, and they were trying to get out. It was hysterical. Kind of like if you've ever been a wedding musician, whoops, yeah, they're pretty durable. As I've dropped it twice. If you've ever been a wedding musician, or even any kind of a musician that's played in like a bar or a seedy kind of place like that, you can truly appreciate the kind of stuff that they were dealing with, because it's the kind of stuff that everybody who's a gigging musician deals with. It's hysterical. So very, very cool, fun. Now this one's a little tricky. It's got this little tiny hole that you got to put this like mouthpiece in his mouth, and I don't know. Well, I guess it doesn't want to stay, so I'm gonna have to glue it. But there he is. Okay. So I'm gonna just temporarily. I'll use my vintage collection thing as a base here. Oop! Don't drop your omnibox. I think it's the omnibox. I'm gonna be very gentle. There they are, man. All right. So cool. Actually, I'm gonna get them set up right here. They're going to find a space right on my shelf, right behind me. Place of prominence. Got to get the omnibox kind of with this guy there. Noticed so for those of you joining, obviously late, this was a live stream. Fairly, I will say, somewhat unsuccessful, at least in terms of live streaming. But that is okay, because it's going to run again on the rewatch, so you can see it later. And that is our show. So we have our 3 vintage collection figures. We got VC 186, 187, 185, Boba Fett, Princess Leia, Escape from Bespin, and of course from Mandalorian, Grief Karga. We got our Baby Yoda Bopit, and we have the Cantina Band, Bustups from Gentle Giant. Okay, so kind of nice little hodgepodge. Okay, so if you watch it on the rewatch, I'm gonna try to. I don't know when I'm gonna do this. I mean, I'm gonna see about trying different things. Maybe leave a comment if you have a suggestion as to a good time to do a live stream. I mean, maybe on the weekends is not good. Maybe people are out and about. Maybe it's better to do it during the week in the evenings. I'm up for any kind of things to try. But I would like to maybe usually drop 2 episodes a week on Sundays and Wednesdays, like pre-recorded. I'd like to start dropping one and doing the other one as a live stream, or maybe continue to drop 2 and then maybe once a month do a live stream. Something, add a live stream to it. We'll see. So if you have any ideas or thoughts, give a comment, and maybe we'll try to do it. Oh, and don't forget our 3 Jedi, random Jedi, no-name Jedi. They're like the red shirts of the Star Wars world, instead of being in Star Trek, where the red shirt officers always go off on a planet and don't come back. They're like the throwaway Jedi, so, oh well. But that'll do it for this episode. All right, so thank you to my one person who watched live. And for the rest of you that watch on the rewatch, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification button. And check me out on Instagram and Twitter. Again, if you want to support the show with more than just a subscription or a like and a share, be sure to check out my Instagram, my TeePublic store, and you can check out all the different Star Wars and Darth Tuba merch that you can find there. So until next time, thank you so much for watching. May the Force and the toys be with you.